Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, today is March the 6th, Wednesday, guys. 2019, foul year of our Lord. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you guys are tuning in from. All right, let's get to it, man. Of course, if this is your first time to the show, I'm Justin Wise here, lead analyst. It says it right down there at the bottom of the screen. Still got to get used to that. Just having it right down there at the bottom of the screen. Lead analyst and senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. As always, guys, if you want to trade along with us, the link's at the top of the screen, premium.KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Let's see what we got going on today. I want to talk about some interesting things. There's an article that kind of caught my eye. I'm going to go over that. I want to do a brief update on some of the blog posts that are on our website, and then we'll get right into the charts, guys, and figure out where we're going to go. Give you guys an update at my position when we get into the charts. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is head on right over here. Actually, let me pull up the editor and make sure that this is all looking good. Let's also say hello to the chat, guys. Eli Back, thanks so much for the $5, my good friend. He says, cup and handle formation on the 1 and 4 hour for Engine could be possible for a break up the resistance. Any thoughts, my good man? We will take a look at Engine Coin, one of the great FOMOs of our time. All right. Wendy says, hope you don't rage quit for the day. I got so bored at work. Nope, no rage quitting here, man. That is not in my vocabulary. Good hello to you, Mulia. Wally, I see you in there, man. You almost... Pants? Interesting. You know, Mediacom support did reach out to me in a direct message via Tweetor, and they were very unhelpful. Basically, they asked, well, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say yes. Yes, I have attempted to do that. And, you know, my stream was really good just a moment ago when I started this, and now it is back to being absolutely terrible. I thought I had fixed this. So, absolutely fantastic, great, sweet, awesome. Just another thing. Here's the time, buy yourself some real internet. Yeah, you know, I actually did talk with one of my teammates about fiber, so that's going to take a while, but potentially something that could happen. Give me, you know, to be quite honest with you, there's nobody that's really more aggravated by the poor upstream than I am, to be quite honest. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wally, for the $9 super chat, man. I highly appreciate that. It's just wiffle waffling, man. It goes good for a few seconds and then drops off. I think my ISP is guilty of overselling. Anyways, we'll see how it progresses. It doesn't seem as bad as yesterday. There is a quick fix, guys. If you rewind and just watch the show like 30 seconds behind, should be okay. Should be okay. So let me, yeah, see there it just pegged again. Seems like that's the constant refrain for the show, man. Just for the last week, you know, for months it was absolutely fine and we had no issues. And then just over this last week, it's just been terrible. And I don't know what it is. Could be the thawing of the snow out there. Could be the thawing of the ice. There's really nothing I can do, man. But it is good to have first world problems, man. Yes, most ISPs do just stink. Yeah, it does seem better today. It's not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. Your connection is like lightning compared to mine. Well, when it works good. When it works good. So let's just soldier on through, gentlemen. Let's head on over here. And let's talk about, again, KrakenCryptocurrency.com. You guys can check out the blog. We do have a fantastic contributor right now, and we're going to have more articles on here every day, man. So this is the place to be for me. This is my go-to. Anyway, so the newest article by Joseph is Tether's USDT stablecoin to launch on Tron. If you guys have not heard about this, so basically Tron and Tether have announced a partnership. As you guys may or may not know, Tether is it runs on the Omni protocol over the Bitcoin blockchain. So basically, it's a second layer solution that runs over the Bitcoin network. And now they're going to add an addition to also be a TRC20 token to run on the Tron blockchain as well. So the Tether stablecoin is also going to be as accessible, as I just said, as a TRC20 token overlaying the Tron blockchain as well. So, regardless of how you feel about Tron, whether you feel positive about them, whether you feel negative about them, this is still a positive sign for TRX, as anybody that would be invested in a project like this, things like this, Tron making the kind of leaps and bounds that anybody would be interested to see, just from a fundamental perspective. BitTorrent token, acquisition of BitTorrent, the partnership with USDT, which is the 7th largest coin by market cap in cryptocurrency. So anyways, they're pretty much saying this is going to be some fantastic stuff. It's going to provide more liquidity to the Tron decentralized exchanges. It's going to provide I don't really understand how they're saying this, but it's going to provide more capital and better accessibility for decentralized app developers. But in general, it is just you could just look at it as a blatant marketing scheme. But this would actually be a good thing for TRX, just to be quite honest with you. So you guys can go check that out. It is live on the blog at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. You're a Tether on a Tron blockchain. Have I tried a VPN to avoid content filtering? I have, but it actually slows my connection down more. Sometimes not, though, because I have done webinars with my VPN on for obvious purposes. So anyways, and then the other article, this is actually a little bit longer ago that this was posted to the blog, but you guys can go check this out. This is a really neat article, Confession of a Former Crypto Hodler. And I think that this can actually speak quite deeply to the soul of many people that are involved in cryptocurrency. I think to the soul of many of you individuals who are probably watching this show right now, because most of us probably did start off in cryptocurrency, getting in. Most of the individuals that I assume are watching the show, there was a large influx of individuals investing and interested in cryptocurrency in late 2016 and 2017. I would say more 2017, to be quite honest. 2017, you would have still been considered somewhat of a hero, buying somewhat in the bear market. Well, the beginning of the bull market, to be quite honest. But overall, in the early stages of accumulation, before everything just started going on an absolute tear in 2017. I mean, 2 very nice bull markets in 2017, to be quite honest. Two bull markets for altcoins, 2 bull markets for Bitcoin. One, obviously, a very nice bull market in relation to regular Bitcoin activity. And then, obviously, the massive blow off top that we saw ending in December. But I know that just in speaking with many of the individuals that I speak to, individuals that are concerned with having funds, individuals that are concerned with, larger scale cryptocurrency investment. I mean, so many individuals just bought Bitcoin while it was ascending in 2017 and might even still technically at this point in time be up depending on when they purchased. But the majority of individuals, I would assume, are not up. Most individuals, I would assume, did buy in the later stages, and they approached cryptocurrency with the only thing that was really being hyped at that time, which was the HODL mentality, the Warren Buffett mentality. You just simply buy and hold, and over 10 or 20 years, your investment produces significant value. Now, as a trader, I've never agreed with that statement. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, that is a speculative investment that I'm fine with having a small portion of overall portfolio allocated to as an investment strategy. However, as a trader, I also find more value and profit in trading its volatility as a market in and of itself. So there's 2 different approaches. But the HODL mentality has been, I would say, this is actually, I guess, an interesting argument to have, because you could say that the HODL mentality is good for Bitcoin because it does mean that there are individuals who are invested in Bitcoin, and that you could make the argument that having the HODL mentality means that the network could not potentially die. However, approaching the situation from the aspect of marketability and profitability and liquidity, I would make the argument that, you're going to do more for the space by increasing investment attractiveness. So by having more liquidity on the exchanges, by having more partnerships, by more vendors accepting Bitcoin, just the same things that's been said for a very long time. So anyways, if you guys refer to, Trace Mayer makes an interesting argument, kind of the hodler of last resort is a form to protect the network. So, but anyways, I think this can actually reach deeply into the hearts of many individuals that held throughout the bear market, that have suffered some financial losses, that are looking to recover their losses. And essentially that is the outcome of, that is the conclusion that this author reaches, that the only way forward is through trading. So, and I think that is something that individuals who have held through the bear market and now find themselves, in a less profitable financial situation or a negative financial situation are now looking to view cryptocurrency as I feel it's been most profitable to view it as a volatile market to trade. There's still, and again, that does not change the fact that I am fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin. I'm philosophically bullish on Bitcoin. Whether or not I was actually positive about Bitcoin's price, I still support Bitcoin and would invest in Bitcoin because of the beneficial aspects that I think, because of the revolutionary changes I think that it can import for mankind. So I've been looking for a technology like this. I've been looking for an aspect of society like this for a very long time, pretty much throughout my entire adult life. And it has led me to Bitcoin. So when we talk about cryptocurrency, it is a complicated topic because it is not just an investment. It is a philosophical revolution. It is a monetary revolution. It is a financial revolution. There are many aspects of cryptocurrency that go above and beyond something like Forex trading, for example. So you do have to kind of peer deeply into your soul and figure out exactly where it is. How exactly do you want to approach the Bitcoin markets? I think that I am able to strike a nice balance between being able to trade cryptocurrency and profit off of it for a living, and also be able to do something like the show and to speak to individuals and to share my opinion and to promote why I think that cryptocurrency is important in the first place, especially Bitcoin. Jasper says, why are you not showing the stream of my subscription feed or on the channel? They are trying to suppress me, man. Luke Sperlin says, dollar cost averaging has me down, but initial investment is still over 2x up. That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Jabba TV, hey, what's going on? Nitin Soki, good to see you. Jizzy Max says, most traders lose, though. That's because there's horrible education out there for traders. Terrible education out there for traders. And that's kind of why I do the show, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that I made when I first got involved in trading. Again, I've been pretty upfront with this. I've been trading for quite a long time in options, in Forex, and in cryptocurrency. Been trading cryptocurrency actively since 2016. And when I began trading, I literally made every mistake in the book. I made mistakes when I first got involved in trading. And again, remember, I started trading equities. Right at the financial crisis, right at the financial collapse. So I began trading in a bear market. So that was fantastic. I've blown out multiple accounts in my journey. I've literally made every mistake in the book, and I think invented a few new mistakes. So that's one of the reasons that I do this show, is because the stuff that you're going to learn in equities and the stuff that you're going to learn in Forex is not going to suit you very well in cryptocurrency. It's a completely different market, basically due to its low liquidity. You do want to be a reversal trader in cryptocurrency, whereas in Forex and equities, you want to be a trend trader, in my humble opinion. So yes, I think that many traders lose. There's lots of reasons for that, but the entire goal of this channel is to take you out of the 99% and try to give you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned to move you into that 1% of traders that do make money. And you don't have to stay in the 99%. But if you do what everybody else does, then you're most likely going to stay in the 99%. There's multiple aspects to this. There's emotional discipline, there's patience, there's playing the long game, and there's having a refined strategy. So all those aspects, when I talk to beginner traders, or when I even talk to not beginner traders, but just unprofitable traders, very quickly in our conversation, I will begin to see areas in which they're fully aware, if they just take the time for some self-reflection and some honest, deep looking into their strategy and what they do, where they are causing their own decline. The very first question: do you keep a trading journal? Do you have a consistent strategy that you execute the same time, day in and day out? Are you patient? Do you have the tendency, when you see price pumping up, do you have a emotional inclination to buy? When you see price dumping, do you have an emotional inclination to short sell? Those are all common mistakes that you want to learn to avoid as a trader. Frank Wolftown asks, how do you know who the good trading and or investing educators are? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I think that the proof is in the pudding. You look at their results. You look at the people who are around them. For example, and again, not to just blindly, promote or talk about myself, but for example, I think that if you were to come into my Discord and DM any of the Premium Trading Group subscribers, I think they would tell you that they're very pleased with the service that I provide. I think that the messages that I receive on a daily basis from individuals who say they're learning from the channel and they're not making as many mistakes, I think that's a positive sign. Ideally, though, it doesn't matter what I say or what any other educator says. What matters is that you're taking the time to assimilate knowledge from multiple sources and develop your own strategy. And then you can back test your strategy and forward test your strategy and learn whether or not your strategy is profitable or not. And the only way, it's just going to take time and patience, man. You have to keep a trading journal. You have to keep an accurate trading journal. And in that trading journal, you need to write down some things. So here's a PSA. If you're going to keep a trading journal, which you do need to do, here's what needs to go in that trading journal for every single trade that you make. Your entry, your exit, and your stop loss. Okay. What reason did you enter the trade? What were the specific reasons? Like what qualifications were met in your indicators, in your price action analysis, in volume and volatility? What were the reasons that you entered into a trade? When the trade began, at what level did you decide that you were going to take profit off the table and move your stop loss to break even, and why? At what was there a point in the trade where you began to be concerned? Okay. Did the trade move against you? If so, how much? And if that happened, did you sell at a loss? Was that a smart move? Did you have a technical indication to sell early before your stop loss was triggered? Which is fine. If you're in a trade and then you have one of your indicators, which is your entry or exit indicator, tells you to be out of a trade, or if you're doing price action analysis and you get an indication to exit a trade, that's fine. You can exit earlier than your stop loss if you have a strategy built around that. If you just got scared and panic sold, then that's not cool. You need to have a strategic reason for why you're entering or exiting trades. And then you need to write down, when did you exit your position fully? When did you fully realize profit? Or when did you take a loss? And why? What could you have done differently? So could you have held on to the trade longer? Did you follow your strategy? Did you exit too early? Did you sell too late? Et cetera, et cetera. You need to keep track of all that. And if you're not keeping track of that, you're not going to know what you're doing right, and you're not going to know what you're doing wrong. Thank you, beautiful world. I appreciate that, man. Okay, so this is one article that that somebody had pointed out to me, and I am going to read this, and then I'm going to point out what I dislike about it and what I like about it. So this is from CoinDesk, and this is Bitcoin's MACD prints the strongest bull signal in over a year. Okay, so we're going to go through this article real quick, and I'm just going to kind of read this, and then we're going to go to the charts, and the first thing we're going to do is like throw this stuff on the chart, and we're going to look at it, and I'm going to point out the flaws, in my humble opinion, or the possible good things. So the moving average, the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, has become the latest charting indicator to signal Bitcoin may soon see a trend reversal that could put an end to its months-long price decline. Try years plus. So as reported, the MFI, the Money Flow Index, which is an indicator used to identify buy and sell pressure, created a divergence Sunday, widely considered to be an early sign of a bearish to bullish trend change, while last week Bitcoin saw a bearish crossover of its 50 and 100-week moving averages, the first since 2015. As such, the MACD became the latest in a series of indicators that, when applied to Bitcoin, point to seller exhaustion and a potential trend reversal as of Monday. The MACD, by definition, turns two trend-following moving averages into a momentum oscillator by subtracting the blah, 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 blah. The price trend is considered to have turned bullish when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, the 9-period exponential moving average of the MACD line, at which point the histogram rises above the zero line. The higher the histogram, the farther apart the MACD and signal line are, indicating stronger momentum. So, for those of you who are unaware of how the MACD works, that is, the MACD is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of trading. It does do two things. It can do, actually it does three things. It's supposed to be able to spot divergence. It's supposed to be able to spot reversals, and it's also supposed to be able to spot trends. Okay, so the traditional way of trading the MACD is that when you get a bullish crossover of the MACD line and the signal line, which is just a moving average of the MACD line, you're supposed to go long if it's crossing to the upside. If it's a crossover, if it's a cross under, you're supposed to go short, for example, or sell or whatever. So that's the way to trade reversals when the MACD line is above or below the zero line. Now, when the MACD crosses above the zero line, that's an indication to go long on a trend. When it crosses below the zero line, that's an indication to go short on a trend. There's other ways to play it. You can look at histogram divergence, and all the histogram is measuring is what is the distance between the MACD and the signal line. Okay, so the MACD purports to do a lot of different things, and I know a lot of traders rely on the MACD. And to be quite honest with you, compared to things like the stochastic and compared to things like RSI, MACD is quite a good indicator in comparison to those other indicators. In general, it's not that great. There's trending indicators that are going to get you into a trend much faster than the MACD. There's reversal indicators that are going to get you in much faster than the MACD. There are divergence indicators that are going to spot divergence much faster and more effectively than the MACD. But as a Swiss Army knife of trading, it's not bad. It's not like god awful terrible like the RSI or the stochastic, right? Which are just terrible indicators. Okay. And again, this is, I know that, I say stuff like this and it's like, oh, what is he saying? The stochastic sucks. I'm just saying that, listen, when you're developing a strategy, you need to develop a strategy where you're going to be able to filter out the nonsense that your indicators or your strategy or your analysis tells you to take, long or short. And in all honesty, just pull up the stochastic, man. Just pull up the RSI. If you were to take every trade where it told you to go long or go short, it's going to work out a few times. But in general, it's going to be a bloodbath because anytime you get chop, those indicators are going to annihilate you. And it doesn't matter if they get you into a nice strong trend, right? I'll give you a good example, right? Like things like the stochastic and things like the RSI, would have got you into the trending trade from 6,000 down to, let's say, 3,500. Okay. They would have potentially got you in from, let's say, 3,500 to 4,000. Okay. They would have got you in those trades if you would have followed the signals. But all the sideways action that the Bitcoin, especially XBT or Ethereum, all the sideways action that those things undertake, you would have got absolutely slaughtered, stopped out left and right, here and there, left and right, absolutely, completely annihilated. And the losses from chop, the gains from catching like those one or two good trends does not make up for the absolute bloodbath that the RSI or stochastic would have put you through in sideways markets. So for that reason alone, I don't use RSI or stochastic, and I don't recommend that you use them either. I mean, they were developed for the frickin' equity markets, man. Joseph asks, what about MFI? MFI is really not that bad. MFI is actually a pretty darn good indicator, to be quite honest with you, man. I think that it leaves a lot to be desired. But I think that somebody maybe who looked at the market differently than I do, could do something really, really good with MFI. I think good things could happen. I think that it leaves a lot to be desired as it stands, but I think that if you played around with it and found the right settings and added the right qualifying indicators to it, I think you could do quite a bit with MFI. It's actually not that bad. Anyway, so this is saying that Bitcoin's MACD line and signal line completed a bullish cross in early February, suggesting a reversal to the predominant downtrend may be in order. Since then, the histogram, representing the space between the two lines, has gradually increased to where it now stands, its highest value since 2018. So further, the histogram failing to set lower lows during its plunge from 6,000 to roughly 3,000 is another form of bullish divergence that points to weakening bearish momentum. It's worth noting that the MACD did make a bullish cross accompanied by a positive histogram value in September of last year before the fall to 3,000, but the lack of separation between the MACD and the signal line was evident, and an indication of the crossover was weak or invalid. So I just want to, we have to pause there, and we have to really pay attention to that. All right. So they're like, hey, check this out. This technical indicator is doing something, and this is bullish. Now, we do need to mention that this did happen back in September, and then we just dropped out of the bottom, right? But, I mean, it was clear, we obviously would have known that the signal was weak, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's freaking nonsense. And this is the crap I'm talking about, right? Like, you either have a good indicator or a good strategy that is based on indicators or based on price action analysis, where you trust to take the where you trust to take the signal, or, and you don't back in hindsight say, well, of course I shouldn't have taken that signal. I mean, it was clearly weak in retrospect. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, dude. You either take the signal or you don't. Let's see here. So some questions. Wasn't all charting meant for the equity market? Well, initially, yes, but there are indicators and strategies that have been developed like post 2012 for cryptocurrency and for Forex, for example. And I think that if you're using indicators from the 1960s and 80s that were developed for stocks, you're going to lose. You're going to lose money. It's just my personal opinion. I think that, again, the reason that I like Bitcoin is because it's superior technology. The reason that I like things like the reason that I like the indicators that I like is because they're newer indicators that were developed for these markets. All you guys got to do is go to TradingView and search for scripts with the tag cryptocurrency. And just start playing with them, man. Just find a basket of indicators that works well for you. Start playing around with indicators and try to find settings that correspond to cryptocurrency. Just don't think that you're going to be able to come into this space and bring the stuff that you learned from Lex Van Dam in here. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. This market's completely different. You guys need to be using updated tools for an updated market, in my personal opinion. Do I find the CCI indicator any useful versus the MACD? I've played around with the CCI indicator. I personally think that it's not that great, especially in cryptocurrency. Again, but you might be able to find that that magical setting on that magical time frame that makes it unlock. And again, you might be able to use the CCI indicator in an alternate sort of way. Generally, the CCI indicator is going to be used as something like a zero line cross. So when it crosses above the zero line, it's bullish. When it crosses below the zero line, it's bearish. I think that it could potentially be used as just a volatility indicator, which I know is what it's designed to do. But, again, when you're looking at a volume or volatility indicator, really all that's supposed to do is like keep you out of bad trades. It might not be the best for an entry confirmation indicator or, an exit indication indicator. Lex Van Dam, is that Jean-Claude? Hi, you brother. Anyway, so, and then it goes on to print a difference, to correspond back to the 2015 MACD crossover. All right. So with that said, guys, let's get to the charts. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is we're going to go ahead and look at, I do want to actually point that out first because I think that this is important. So let's go ahead and look at, I'll actually go over here. BTC USD, and we will look at the Bitstamp chart. And we're going to go ahead and remove all indicators, and we're going to add the MACD in here. Okay, so there's the MACD, and we'll look at the weekly. Okay, so let's zoom in on this, okay? And let's raise this up just a little bit. And I'm going to point out to you, hopefully, I mean, I'm doing this off the cuff, to be quite honest with you, but we're going to see if we can't spot any flaws in this. Okay. So here's kind of my point with the MACD, man. Here's kind of my point with the MACD. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. Okay. So if we look at what the MACD on the weekly time frame would have gotten you into, so here, if we're looking for reversal indicators, so let's look at how you're supposed to trade this thing. Here's the weekly time frame for the Bitstamp MACD, and we have obviously the MACD and the signal line here. The signal line being orange, the MACD line being blue. So we don't get a confirmed crossover. So we have them touch on this candle right here. We don't have a confirmed crossover on the weekly time frame until this candle right here. So just making sure you guys are fully aware of this. We didn't get confirmation to go short until the close of this candle right here, which would have been 8,226. Now, price did go down another 25%. but then pretty much immediately rebounded. So I'm not sure if you would have taken profits if you were looking for a weekly signal like that, especially after seeing something like, a 50% decline since then. So potentially you would have taken profits. Potentially that would have been a good, could have been a good profitable trade. Most likely not. I'm just being honest with you. Most likely not. Most of you would have probably lost money on that trade because that decline happened pretty fast. So if we actually go down to the daily time frame and zoom over to when that happened. Okay, so let's see. We would have gotten the indication somewhere around, what, 8,000 we said? Yeah, so what do we get the indication around 8,000? 8,226, so somewhere around here, actually. So the MACD, the weekly MACD didn't tell us to go short until somewhere around here. And you would have had 2 days to take profit. 2 days to take profit before price just reversed and probably blasted you in the face and rose another 40%. So not a great signal there. Not a great signal there. Let's continue on here. And again, I'm not trying to cherry pick. Let's just be honest about this. All right, so right here, the MACD, the MACD crosses below the 0 line on this candle right here. So here we have it touching, and it actually goes below on this candle. So the MACD would have told you to go short on this candle right here, and you would have probably lost quite a bit of money because it didn't really go down whatsoever, and it just rose another 50%. So MACD hit you in the face right there. Here we have the MACD cross the signal line on this candle right here. So it told you to go long on this candle right here. And again, did not go up whatsoever. So that was a loser. Let's go forward a little bit. Here we go. Tells you to go short here. Okay. Got you in a little bit of a decent trade here. On the very next candle, it seems this candle right here, it goes below the 0 line. So it's telling you to be in a trending trade now. So if you weren't in here, you would have been in here. And that probably would have been a good trade. You could have gotten about 43% on that. So that's good. I'm not sure that makes up for the last 3 bloodbaths that we just pointed out, but okay. Let's see. So you're in that trade, and you're in that trade, and you're in that trade. Now, typically, most individuals would have probably gotten out here. Why? Because the histogram changes from descending to ascending. So probably would have got you out of the trade right here. Not sure what your exit indicator would have been, but then you have some sideways chop. Maybe you get back in the trade here. Let's see here. The MACD wouldn't have told you to get out. The MACD probably would have told you to be out of that short here, and then maybe had you back in here. The close of this candle. Maybe took some profit right there. Maybe. Let's see. Tells you to go long here. Probably not a winner. I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys' profit taking target is on Bitcoin for the weekly, but probably not a big winner there. Most likely a loser on that trade. So no other signals from the MACD until here. Kind of touches. Maybe you go short on that. That would have sucked if you would have gone short on that. And then it tells you to go long here, and then you do get a trending indication here. So this is pretty good. That's pretty good. Get you in here. Tells you to be out here. So not a bad trade. Not a bad trade there. Not a bad trade there. And then it tells you to go short right here. That's a loser. And then it tells you to be in long here. And you're in this trade. And you're out here, so that's not great. That's not fantastic. Maybe you're out here. Maybe you're out here, but still kind of robs most of your profits. If you're entering on this candle and you're getting out there, maybe a good trade. Maybe a good trade. So anyways, not trying to cherry pick, but anyways, my point is that this would have worked out pretty well for you. And again, I was just comparing essentially the bull run, and any trending indicator would have had you in for the bull run. But the MACD did have you out quite a bit. And the MACD didn't have you out of the bullish run until this candle right there. So that's not too terrible. That's if you're being aggressive and going off the histograms. But the MACD didn't give you a full confirmation to be out until this candle. And also told you to go short on this candle. So that's not very good. This would have been a bloodbath. Any other indications here? So tells you to go short here. Might be a winner. Might be a winner. And then you just have, depending on how you're trading this, man, we're going up, tells you to go long here, crosses back down, tells you to go short here, tells you to go long here on this candle, tells you to go short, maybe tells you to go short there. I don't know. And then doesn't have you into the short trade until the close of this candle. So the MACD is not special in catching trends. in catching trends, either to the upside or the downside. Any indicator, any trending indicator worth its weight in salt would have had you in much earlier than the MACD. And the fact that any areas of sideways action are just going to get you tore up, I don't think are going to be are going to make up for the bloodbath that it put you through. We've got some emergencies going on outside. We do have some emergencies going on. Young children. Young children and overreaction. Okay, let me slide up here, man. Mr. Boom Sachs IT, thank you so much, man. I highly appreciate that. Christian Dubik, hey, what's going on from Croatia? Jir says, but how do you spot divergence? MFI is not really good for that, right? You can use MFI for divergence. Higher high, lower high, lower low, higher low. You can use MFI for that. I think that the Fisher transform is better, but I digress. So anyways, so we're talking about this being a bullish indication. So I don't know why they're talking about it now, because technically you would have had the MACD crossover here. Okay. And this is going to be a reversal trade. Now I'll tell you what the MACD is good for, and I'll tell you what things like this are really good for. It's kind of very similar for the Fisher transform when you get continuation trades. So again, when the MACD crosses above or below the 0 line, that is a trending indication. You should be in a trending trade. Just out of curiosity, let's see. So the MACD would have gone above the 0 line right around here back in 2015. And if you were trading this appropriately, I'm trying to see if it crosses below the 0 line. No, it doesn't. It doesn't cross below the 0 line. So that would have technically had you in the trade until, let's see when it crosses underneath, till this candle right here. So that probably would have been quite a nice trade. That probably would have been quite a good trade. Yep. So about a 2,000% trade if you bought back in 2015. But let's just be honest, most of the individuals using the MACD on the weekly basis, a lot of people didn't do that. Let's be honest, man. Jake Rezio says, hey, Justin, my crypto sense is tingling. When I look at Litecoin, could you cast some bones and prophecy a trade? I'll do my best, man. Bob Miner, sup, bro? Good to see you. Let's make some money today. Let's do it, man. Not sure how much money is to be made today. Market does look a little boring, but I digress. Okay, so that's basically, listen, I've got other issues with the MACD, but hopefully I've laid out kind of my main issues with it. It lags really bad. It's not going to get you into trades. It gives you a ton of false signals. And I think it probably gets worse if we go to the daily, man. It probably gets a lot worse if we go to the daily. Like, you know, like for example here, the MACD crosses the signal line right here to the upside here on the daily time frame and tells you to go long on this candle. That would have been a bloodbath. Let's go take a look here. Maybe crosses below here. Doesn't really cross below. Maybe you would have gone short there. If you did, that would have been a bloodbath. Well, maybe you would have made some money. Let's see here. Get you into another long here. That would have been a bloodbath. I mean, for real, if you entered on that long, I mean, who's going to take a 12% drawdown? I mean, I don't know where your stop loss is, but if it's not at, for real, come on, man. So you would have stopped out here, and then you don't really get an indication to go long. After getting stopped out, you don't get a fresh indication to go long. So you would have missed this trade. The Fisher not the Fisher, but the MACD goes above the 0 line on this candle. So it tells you to enter a trending long on literally this candle right here, on the close of this candle. Well, that would have been a bloodbath. I mean, for the love of God, dude. Tells you to go short here. So it catches that. That's crossing underneath and going below the 0 line. So maybe had you in for a decent trade, but I mean, look at this. Let's look at that whipsaw, man. Let's see. So if you go short on this candle right here, and it told you to be out here, that's a break-even trade. crosses back underneath on this candle, so it's got you going short here, and that's a break-even trade, most likely a loser. You most likely get punched in the face on that. Sorry, I'm just sitting here talking continuous smack on the MACD. Tells you to go long on this candle right here. Okay, that's not a bad trade. So you're long here, you have a little bit of drawdown, and then you're up, and then you're up, and then it doesn't really tell you to be out until this candle right there. Maybe you get out here, or maybe you get out here, I don't know, depending on how you want to take that. But if you make the argument, see, this is what MACD users will say. If you say, well, Justin, look, on this candle right here, you can see that the MACD histogram goes from ascending to descending. It goes from waxing to waning. So of course you're out on that candle. And MACD gave you the entry. MACD gave you the entry signal at the top of this candle. So look at that amazing trade. Okay, that's great. But if you're going to use that logic, man, if you're going to use that logic that you're going to exit on a waning candle, then you would have been out on this fucking candle right here. If you're being consistent, you would have gone long here, and you would have exited on the close of this candle at a loss, and then you didn't give another you didn't get another indication to get into the trade until right here. Okay, you did get a trending indication right there. Okay. Then, okay, maybe I'll listen to your argument. So you got in there, and then you exited on the close of the waning candle. Okay, so you got 7%. You got 7% on Bitcoin, like the one maybe decent trade that I've seen so far on the daily time frame since the bottom. So I don't know what to tell you, man. This indicator's not terrible, but not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good. So we'll see. We'll see. Weekly time frame, the MACD crossing up. Really, I mean, they should have been talking about it here, but it would have had you long from 37.43 essentially, and we're up about 5%. So we'll see. Again, I think that the critical areas that I've talked about, I think are going to be a little bit more helpful with this, and that is going to be a horizontal level of weekly resistance. So we've talked about that ad nauseum. Don't know how much stock I'm going to put into the MACD because it just gives you so many bad signals, man, and so many late signals. So we'll see though. But I mean, something to keep your eye on if you guys are appreciative of the MACD. It is, I guess, something that you could potentially keep your eye on. But just look, I mean, it's not bad. If you don't have something besides the MACD, it's at least not going to be like god-awful terrible if you're using qualifiers, right? So volatility qualifiers or volume qualifiers or a second entry confirmation indicator, for example, or price action analysis. It's not going to be super terrible, but it's not going to be it's just not very good, man. Hey, thank you, Caribbean Crypto Show. I appreciate that, man. I prefer the histos with MACD over the signal lines. The histos seem to lead a little bit quicker. Now, I will say that the histograms are not too bad. They're not too terrible, man. They would have had you in the trade on the close of this candle, and they would have had you out at the close of this candle. So, I mean, it's not a fantastic trade. There are other technical indicators that would have had you out somewhere down here or somewhere around here on the lower time frames, but not too bad. And again, maybe you shouldn't be executing your trades on the weekly time frame. In fact, I don't recommend that you execute your trades on the weekly time frame. It's not bad for analysis, but Bitcoin just moves too quickly to think that you're going to take weekly trades, in my personal opinion. I trade mostly on the 8-hour and the 3-hour. Okay, so let's get into price action analysis, guys. Excuse me. Cheeky look at Tron X19. All right, well, let's edit the schedule, man. TRX and LTC and engine from Mr. Eli back. And we will now kick ZERP down to the bottom of the screen. So what did we go over today? We didn't really go over BTC fundamentals, although I guess you could make the argument that we did. We didn't really look at the CoinFarmOnline stuff, which we normally do. But anyways, MACD. Done and done. And so let's proceed with Bitcoin and just talk about what I think we're going to see here. No problem, man. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Again, I'll try to do further breakdowns of indicators. And again, I just want to say this, like, if you can make it work for you, like, that's great, man. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and say that if you use the MACD, you're stupid. I mean, I know people that use the MACD successfully. But in my personal opinion, I think that it has some major flaws. But compared to like the RSI or stochastic, like, it's way better than those. It just depends on how you use it. Because remember, the MACD tries to do a bunch of different things at once. You can detect divergence with it. You can detect divergence either through the signal line and the MACD line or through the histograms. You can detect reversal trades with the crossovers of the lines, and you can detect trending with it going above and below zero. And you could even throw like some more custom moving averages in there. So just play around with it and find something that works for you. Okay, so let's get in here and look at Bitcoin USDT. Bound by Hatred says, not to shill, no affiliation, but Wave Trader 2 color MACD is far more accurate than regular MACD. Well, hell yeah, man. You guys go check that out, man. In fact, I will even put that on my list to potentially check out myself. And that, that's exactly kind of what I'm saying, man. Like, guys, get out there and experiment with these indicators, man. There are some great, fantastic indicators that are developed, that are newer indicators that weren't designed for equity markets back in the 80s. So I highly recommend you guys go out there and do that. Okay, so let's do a little bit of breakdown of price action analysis. Okay, so what did Bitcoin do, man? So Bitcoin right now, let's give you guys a brief update on my position. So I took a momentum long last night. I had my initial take profit target at 3,900. In fact, let me pull up my thing. Okay, so I entered a Bitcoin momentum long last night. Around 38.25. I had take profit targets at 3,900, 3,960, and 40.38. Now, woke up this morning and saw that my first take profit target was hit. So actually, here's a little experiment. If you guys want to see something that I'm working on, I'm working on the next version of time transformation, but I did click the wrong screen there. So anyways, looking at the BitMEX chart, I woke up this morning to see that my first take profit target had hit by $1. So that's awesome. And now I'm looking at this chart and I'm pretty much back at break even now. And I have my stop loss set at break even. The reason why is because now that price is doing this, it has the potential to reject from here. So let's go back to the tether chart and talk about why that is. I still remain tentatively bullish, but overall I'm net neutral because I don't have a large position now anymore. Because I already took, that's the way that I do things, man. Once take profit one hits for me, I take 50% profit off the table and I adjust my stop to break even. Wasn't able to adjust my stop to break even until I woke up this morning, so it wouldn't have hit anyways, but just kind of rebounded and sitting right where my position is, or right near where my entry was. So, and the reason why I do that is because I don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. So anyways, and because that's a very joyous time. So I've made money and now I can't lose money anymore. So anyways, but look what we've done. We've tapped into liquidity just above this local high right here. We wick up there and form a little bit of a lower low. So if we reject from here, that would be an SFP. So this is sizing up to be a good indication to be a short from. So the areas that I'm keeping my eye on right now is I want to see, as I talked about yesterday, I wanted to see price close above 38.55, which it did. And I would have liked to see some more sustained bullish movement because just as I talked about yesterday, right? 3,900 is support that should turn resistance. And that's exactly what it did yesterday when we did run up there and test it. A lot of selling pressure that rose up there to meet to meet demand as it rose up. The area that we actually need to reclaim to be quite bullish is going to be 39.70, okay? Because that is where the majority of trapped buyers are. We had aggressive initiation here into buying, and I know that there's a lot of buyers that are trapped in these positions right here that are just waiting to unload their bag should price return to this area. So again, as I talked about, this area does remain a sell on the first pass through. But I'm looking at this and I'm not sure if price is going to be able to make its way back up there again. So pretty much things are unclear, man. Pretty much things are unclear, where I'm in a situation where I'd much rather be in a pretty much neutral position and, again, wait for a little bit more confirmation from price action. Putting in this nice long-legged doji at the top of a very bullish candle doesn't portend greatness for follow-through continuation. Looking at the daily time frame right here, it generally portends downside. To be quite honest with you. So should price close here now below 3840 and definitely below 3800, I'll probably be in a positional short, because again, I highly doubt that 3650 is going to hold again. This was my lower side take profit target that actually hits on my XBT USD short from 4114. So I still have 15% of that open. I haven't closed that position out yet. So anyways, yeah, man, should we break through this level right here? Should this support not hold, then things start to look pretty nasty, man. And this is just invalidated. This was just a grab for liquidity. So pretty much I'm out of the market right now. Not out of the market. I'm 15% short, and I have a little bit on my hedge account to the long side. So overall, I'm neutral, leaning more toward the short. So I can make profit both ways. But anyways, yeah, man, I don't really like the way this looks. I don't like the way this looks. I was feeling pretty bullish last night. I put on that momentum long. Was lucky enough to hit my first take profit target. And now I'm just sitting here and I'm looking and I'm like, all right, you want to put in this long-legged doji at the top of an uptrend. Volume doesn't look great. Sentiment doesn't look great. The market's skewed to the long side. We're almost 60% long again, gentlemen and ladies. Again, 1.7% of my audience is female. So all time. So I'm sure that I've had 2 female viewers. Anyways, and so this doesn't look great. I'm not going to lie. This is not really what you want to see for bullish continuation. I remain tentatively bullish, but I'm starting to lean bearish, right? So again, I'm not going to trade my opinion. I'm not going to force my opinion on the market of what I think is likely to happen. I'm just going to wait for confirmation and trade in the direction of the trend. So really, I'm going to be watching price develop over here for what I just need to see, guys, to be quite honest with you, is I need to see price action develop over the next probably day or two. Again, we saw a downside. We saw about 16 hours of consolidation, and we saw a nice little pump up. We've seen about 24 hours of consolidation now with a pump up side. And the only reason why I don't like that is because the pump pumped up to tap liquidity. So if we reject from here, we were unable to form an actual convincing high. It was just a grab for liquidity at this point in time, tapping into what should be previous support term resistance. So I'm pretty much neutral right now, guys. I don't have, the market's not giving me some clear indications of which way it wants to go. So I can shake my bones all you want, guys, but this is starting to look a little bearish, to be quite honest with you, man. Daily time frame, the daily fissure is crossing above the 0 line, which typically is a trending trade. However, if we take a look at something like volume to qualify whether we should be in that trade or not, it's not great, man. The volume's not really there. Let's take a look at something that I do point out once in a while, and I don't use this indicator, but it's just something to look at, and I think this is a good start if you don't have something better. The volume oscillator. So the volume oscillator exists, and again, using this freaking dark black blue background. So anyways, but the volume oscillator lets you know whether you should enter a trending trade or not. And the volume oscillator is telling us no, because it's below the 0 line. So we have an indication technically here to enter into a trade. Let's actually go over here and make the 0 line black and opaque. There we go. So we have the 0 line right here, and the daily is now freshly crossing over the 0 line. This is technically, for time transformation, a trending trade to the upside, but the volume's not there. So it's telling us, nope, sit on your hands. And the reason that you want to be looking at qualifying indicators like that is to keep you out of bad trades. It's to keep you out of bad trades. All right. Candlestick says the best indicator that I found for divergences is the on-balance volume oscillator. Yeah. OBV is a pretty darn good volume oscillator. I don't particularly use it myself. I know a lot of people that do, and it tends to work out for them. The MACD was about to cross when BTC was at 17K. Look at where we are now. MASCMC asks if I ever use the TTM squeeze. Yeah, the TTM squeeze is actually a pretty good dude. Or excuse me, a pretty good indicator. Darko 9997, man. I don't mind. I don't mind the don't mind, I guess, the negative comments, but watch the language, man, or I will ban you, dude. Again, I don't have any problem with people coming in here and saying that I'm stupid. That's totally fine. In fact, I like having the discussion, but if you use that language, man, I'll cut you, bro. Not like physically cut you, I mean cut you from the chat, dude, because nobody wants to read that bullshit. JBP, thanks, man. I highly appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I will look at Litecoin. It's on the schedule, man. Peter, trust me, man. Like I am not I am not neglecting the bandwidth, dude. I'm hardwired. Everything is off. There's nothing that I can do, man. Like until I get new internet or until MediaCom gets out here and fixes everything, man. I guarantee you, man. I thank you so much, man. Like I appreciate, I do appreciate, and I am trying to get things fixed. But you know what sucks is just generally things are quite fine. I don't have any issues up streaming, but just this last week has been really a pain in the butt, man. Mac S or I don't know how to say your name, man, but MASCMC. Yes, I'm on Twitch right now. If you look right there. Right there. I'm on Twitch right now. Bruno Solier, can I speak on Elliott Wave? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Get you wrecked. Okay, so. So basically, I'm waiting, guys, just to be quite frank with you, man. Now, the reason why I'm waiting is because and again, I want to be very, 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 very clear, right? I'm still in my long. Okay, 50% out, took profit at 3,900, but I'm still 50% in my long. Stops at break even. Should we hit my stop, then I'll be out of the trade. But we haven't, so there's that. And the reason why I think this could really go, the reason why I want some confirmation, and really when I say confirmation, I mean most likely the market's going to move, and one of my positions is going to be profitable, and one of them is not going to be profitable. Okay. So the reason why that is because we are consolidating at a higher level. Okay, we are consolidating at a higher level, but there's some negative things, right? We had a tap into liquidity, which could portend a decline. We're over skewed to the long side, so there's a couple things that we could see, man. We could see a pump up. We could see a pump up and then a swift rejection, or we could see a pump up, or not a pump up. That's not really the term I want to use. We could see a reclamation of 3,900, a strong close above 3,900. I think would actually be pretty good, at least on the 3-hour, the 8-hour time frame. If we pump up here and immediately reject, then I think that we're going to go lower, as portended by this candle right here, which did exactly the same thing. So I feel unsure about which way to take, man. So when I feel unsure, I generally don't open up new positions. So since I am comfortably short from 41.14. On my main account. And since I am in a profitable long currently at this point in time on my hedge account, I don't really have to do anything. So, and I'm not going to post new signals to the members, and I'm not going to make new trades when I feel uncertain about the direction of the market, because I don't gamble when the odds are not in my favor. So overall analysis has not really changed, guys. 39.69, 39.70 remains a sell on the first pass through. That's where there's going to be a lot of trapped buyers. Should we have a nice, I would say 8-hour close above 39.70, then I think we're going higher. Then I'm not uncertain anymore, and I'm pretty goddamn bullish, and I'm targeting 4,500, 4,600. I don't think that we're going to be trapped by resistance anymore. So because of that, because I think the swing trade to the upside, I mean, we're talking about a 13, 14% trade there, guys. That's spot. Because that is so lucrative, and because we'll be able to manage risk at a fraction of that at that point in time, once we reclaim that level, it's okay to be patient, man. You don't got to worry about like this little baby bitch trade right here. You don't got to worry about that. And you don't really have to worry about this baby bitch trade right here. You've got plenty of time to be patient and calm and wait, man. Femi says, he is a troll, man. Hey, it's good to have trolls, man. They're entertaining sometimes. No, it's not my PC, man, although I am working on upgrading my graphics card. I should have a new graphics card here in about a week or two. Your internet is fine. You need to reinstall your webcam driver. Nope, it's the latest driver, man. I promise, man. It's not the computer at all. Do I pay attention to CME futures and gaps? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. I would say that you're an Elliott wave, but that would be unforgivable, and you're a good trader. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Will BTC drop to 2,800 in 5 days? I don't know, man. Are we overextended and done with the pump? Not sure yet, man. Zero cool. Looks like an SFP until proven otherwise. Bam. There it is, man. Until proven otherwise, looks like an SFP. Got it. Ricky Thompson says, I'm on Binance. I usually go to USDT to protect my gains in Bitcoin. Someone said use stablecoin. Any difference between the two? Tether is a stablecoin. Justin, to buy a new webcam? Nope, it's the same. I have 1,500 graphics cards collecting dust. Want one? Yeah, if it's nice, you know, I'll be glad to take it, man. I think that I can't remember exactly which one we're going to get. I think it's a overclock GTX 1060. Not exactly sure. I don't have the best one in there right now. Maybe because you're streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Hardly any hiccups on YouTube for me. That is a potential. So Restream does have a tendency to throttle. I don't think that that's my issue. I genuinely think that it's coming from the source, from my actual upstream. But you could be right. I think maybe that's something that we do need to experiment and play with. SFP is a swing failure pattern. So a swing failure pattern can happen a couple different ways. There's the traditional way of looking at swing failure patterns, which is generally more like candle body close. So like, for example, like let's try and find like a classic swing failure pattern on like the hourly time frame right here. Okay, so the way that you're going to read about a swing failure pattern is trying to find a good example. Okay. The classic way, I guess, that you would be told about a swing failure pattern, and calm down, I'm about to pull out some Elliott wave bullshit right now, guys. Okay. Excuse me, man. The classic way that you're going to see a swing failure pattern is actually this, and that's not that I'm going to go into what you're going to be taught and then the way that I trade them, okay? So a swing failure pattern is going to be from somewhere, right? You have a swing down, okay? And then you have retracement, and then you have a higher low, okay? So you have something like an ABC. And then once price, so this is the swing failure, right? Where you have a swing and then a failure to make a lower low than that swing, right? And then this is the result. This is the result. Sorry, let me get my painting tool out here. This is the result. This is where you're supposed to go long right here. So you have your B, and once you break B, okay? Once you break B, you go long, okay? And opposite if you're looking at swing highs. So you have a swing low, you have a retracement, you have a higher low, and then you break resistance and you go long. Okay, that's a classic swing failure. That's actually traditionally how swing failure patterns are taught. That's not the way I use swing failure patterns. To me, that's just higher low resistance breakage. All right. So, anyways, but that's what you're going to be taught. Okay, and let me try and find a good example to the upside. This doesn't really work. Let me try to find a better example. Yeah, I mean, this is a good example right here. No, that's not really a good example. That's actually the way I look at SFPs. Let me see if I can't find an example to the upside. Because they need to happen. Those SFPs happen at market tops and bottoms. This is kind of a good example. This isn't too bad. So and this isn't, I wouldn't say a perfect example, but same logic. So you have a swing high, you have a pullback, you have a lower high, and then you break B, okay, and you go short. Okay, so that is, again, that's a classic swing failure pattern, right? You're going to see these SFPs at market tops and bottoms. So they're generally not going to happen in consolidation. They're going to happen when markets do bottom out. So here's another good example. And again, crypto moves fast, so be careful. You're going to have to be looking at lower time frames. But it's good to plot these out on higher time frames and look at lower time frames to validate these. So here you have a low, you have a retracement, you make a higher low, and then you break resistance. Okay? You have a swing failure pattern. So that's your long signal right there. Okay? Now that shit moved fast as hell. Let's be honest. So a lot of people would not have been able to catch that. So that's kind of one of the things why you have to, this is my humble opinion, you need to trade reversals in cryptocurrency, and you just have to have good enough risk management so that when you lose small, and when you win big. Because you're just not going to be able to use traditional trending strategies in cryptocurrency. It moves too fast. I agree with you, man. You're knucking futz. All right. Hey, guys, I got to go grab some water. I'm just going to be back in a couple minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. When I get back, we're going to go through Engine Coin, Litecoin, Tron, and ZERP, guys. We're going to give you guys a little bit more updates on the market. And we're also going to talk about what real SFPs are, the way that I trade SFPs. So don't go anywhere, guys. While you guys are waiting, head on over to KrakenCryptocurrency.com and check out the blog, and make sure to smash that like button, guys. We'll be right back. All right. And we're back. And I lost the YouTube view count. Every day it's something different. Let's try this. Let's try that. Nope, didn't come back yet. Well, darn. Hopefully it'll come back in time. Okay, dun 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 dun. So you put a major sell under the drop level. That is one way to do it, to set stop market orders, to sell into a breakdown, or stop buy orders to buy into a breakout. That is a classic way to do it. And I think the only way that you're going to be able to do it in cryptocurrency, because I see some of the comments, yes, you're not going to be able to do this. That's why I say you do have to be a reversal trader if you're going to want to catch some of these movements, because it just happens too darn fast. Now, again, you can mitigate that, as I said, by using stop orders. But that is inherently risky, but that's the purpose of using position sizing and risk management. Dr. Faz says, Justin has a neighbor that's yes, that is possible. It could be because I did go out into the street yesterday in my sweatpants and a wife beater in 10 degree below weather, and waved a shovel around and said, whoever is using the internet when I'm trying to stream is going to get it. I think that was effective. AJV says, how do you access BitMEX from the United States? VPN, yes, correct. Zero Cool says, I use them the other way. Lower low leads to a lower low swing that fails to continue and turns to a trend change. Yes, that is actually how I use them as well. CBN5 says, Justin, you said that reversal trading is the most important strategy for crypto. Can you trade reversals in every time frame? You can, depends on what your indicators are. What is your favorite time frame for reversal trading? The 3 hour and the 8 hour. Green Dildo coming in on the views. Just jumped to 771. Are we topped out on Litecoin RSI? You guys know how I feel about RSI. But yes, classically it is looking quite overbought. But if we're trending, if we truly are trending, then that doesn't mean for anything. So let's look at how I actually trade SFPs. And SFPs are going to look like this. They're going to look like this. In crypto, they have their own kind of special formula. And let's see here. Let's try and find a good example. Again, these happen at market bottoms. So let's see here. Yep, this is a pretty good example. You're going to see them with wicks. You're going to see them with wicks and high volume. All right, wicks and high volume, guys. Wicks and high volume. This is how they happen in crypto. So you put in a low right here. You put in a pretty significant low, and then you consolidate for a while. And what does the market do? It goes for a stop loss hunt, goes just below that previous low, does not have any follow through, immediately pulls back and then pumps up. That is how I trade SFPs. Swing failure patterns. You have a swing that attempts to continue the previous downtrend. There's no selling pressure to buy into it. It's just a liquidity grab, and it continues to the upside. So this is what most people will call a stop loss hunt, grab for liquidity. They go by many different names. I know them as SFPs, and that is the pattern that I like to look for trading. You see the very exact same thing here. Again, these do happen at market tops. So what do you see here? You see a high. I guess really here, this is not a good example of it because you don't have that high on high volume, high momentum. But you see a high here on pretty good volume right here. Pretty decent volume on that high. You see a wick to the upside, no follow through, and downside. Try to find another example just to do 3. That's not the best example, to be quite honest with you. This is a good example right here. This is a good example. Market makes a low right here on high volume. Very high volume right there on that candle. Market makes a low, consolidates, pulls back down for liquidity, no follow through. And what is your trigger to go long? Generally the same thing, a break of resistance. Okay. And this, you would have had ample time to catch this pump. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to catch that pump. Okay. So SFPs, sometimes you can catch, and general swing failure patterns, classical swing failure patterns you can catch as well. But this is the pattern to be watching for. And this is going to be the danger of having market sell orders below that level. Okay. So, but it's okay. You can have a market sell order at this level. would have gotten you damaged, but price would have only pulled back on you about 1.64%, and you would have had your stop loss here and a stop buy order here. Now, sometimes you're going to get absolutely wrecked by that strategy. That's why I prefer to be a reactionary trader. I don't like to set blind stop orders to sell into a breakdown or buy into a breakout. I do prefer to just have alerts set for my chart and react, and sometimes I'm going to miss a trade. That's fine, but I prefer to not take the risk. So similarly, if we went and looked at that swing failure pattern that occurred at the top, which again, as I talked about, was not a beautiful example. This is a pretty decent example right here. Decent volume, I guess. Decent volume, not the best volume. This was genuine uptrend because you have a very strong candle body close on high volume, not a lot of wicks, continuation to the upside. So you could have gotten a nice 2 or 3% trade off of this. But anyways, the market makes a high. Market makes another high. There's no follow through. And where's your resistance level really right here? Here. But I don't think you would have been able to catch that. I don't think you would have been able to catch that on, you would have had to stop sell. You would have had to stop market sell into that because again, that dump happened in about 10 minutes. So that's why I say it does behoove you to be a reversal trader. I think that is the most dominant strategy to follow in cryptocurrency. Now, these things aren't going to work. It's not always, and any pattern, any strategy is not going to work 100% of the time, but these are just things to watch out for. So if we're looking for the same thing, we have a high on a high volume right here. We have another high, little follow through so far, and consolidation. So what would be the point of failure? Be around 38.23. Be around 38.23. Would be the failure of this pattern and downside. But again, if we take a more macro view, if we really just take a more macro view, I mean, look, guys, if 3,800 breaks, all right, if 3,800 breaks, which is previous support, broke down through, broke above, if this does not hold as support on a pass through on a test, then 3650 isn't going to hold. It's been 10. It was bought up here, aggressively initiated. It's been pulled back down to test 3 times now in this vicinity. So I don't think that there's going to be a lot of confident buyers here, and I don't see how there's going to be a lot of confident buyers here. This could be a grab for liquidity, but I doubt it. This area is fairly weak, and 3,400 will definitely not hold because it's been bought up here. It's been aggressively initiated into here, and it was bought up. It was tested around this range here, and it was bought up here and here. So this is front running the level, and this is actual buying the level. This level's not going to hold. I think if we break down from here, then most likely we're going to go test yearly lows, or previous yearly lows, to be quite honest with you. And if we break this level, I think we're going to go higher. So patience, calmness, waiting for confirmation. There is good upside potential and there's good downside potential. So just wait for the trade to come to you, gentlemen. Darth Maul candles are indicators of price reversal. Is that correct? They generally can be. They're indications of market instability, but sometimes you will see Darth Maul candles and then continuation. You know, let's, here you go. You have a Darth Maul candle right here, and then follow through. Here you have a Darth Maul candle and follow through. So there is an issue with just raw candlestick analysis. Well, I'd say the issue is the same for any technical strategy, which is 60% of the time, it works every time. Jay Constant says, you know what? I'm tired, man. I'm just buying Bitcoin and I'm holding. Hodlin. What's my top indicator except time transformation? Ichimoku. Ichimoku. Heikinashi. How much a usual person will buy as a crypto? I'm not sure what you mean by that, man. Like, quantity-wise? USD-wise? Depends on their personal finances. Okay, so let's get on with the schedule, guys. We just went over BTC. Overall, not quite sure. All right, let's check in with Engine Coin. All right, 8-hour time frame. Oh, look at that. MACD is just on there. All right, let's go to Kraken Cryptocurrency. All right, so hopefully I should have the new version of the time transformation published here pretty soon for the members. Again, working on it right here, smoothing it out. I find that it gives some better signals. And finding the right smoother for it was really a pain. But I digress. Bruno Solier, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I highly appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I don't even see a question, man. Hi, Kanashi. Bitcoin daily is a green too, so it's bullish. Yes, classically. Correct. That's something that we haven't done in a while. Looks like a green 1, man. Oh, Bitstamp chart. Right. Okay. Can I go over Ichimoku? Yeah, sure. Let me put that on the schedule. So let me kind of run through these coins real quick. And we'll talk about Ichimoku after Trex. Okay, let's look at the 24-hour time frame for Engine. Kind of the same thing, man. Indecision at the top of a market cycle. We did hit that upward profit target. Again, that's no difference from yesterday, so we did hit that yesterday. Almost hit the second take profit target right here. And it does seem like the market is overall stalling out, man. If we get some sideways consolidation at these higher levels, again, could be good, could be bad, man. Let's think. Oh, you talked about Engine. You talked about a potential cup and handle forming on the hourly and 1 hour. Okay, so let's talk about what a cup and handle would look like should one form on the hourly and the 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, give you a sell signal right here on time transformation. Pulling back up. Let's actually go to the hourly. Cup and then handle. Well, if that were to happen, you would do the exact same thing that you would do for anything else, man. You'd buy the breakout because cup and handles are breakout strategies. So typically when you're looking at a cup and handle, you're going to measure the bottom of the handle to the top. Let's throw on big ones. And you're going to look to buy between the 236 and the 382 Fibonacci retracement with your stop loss underneath the 0.5. Looks like you are in the buy zone right now. So it seems like you'd be buying right now and managing risk about 2% below current buy-in price. I'd like to see an hourly close below that level. And then you are going to look for, so your buy-in zone would be right here. Buy-in zone would be right here between 2604 and 2643. Let's say 2600 and 2650 to split the baby. And then you're looking for an equilibrium swing. So let's go over to ICT. You're looking for an equilibrium swing up to 2973. Or if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, right here, 2874, which is actually congruent with my upside profit target right there. You wanted to measure from the candle body close and not the wick. So 2874 or highly aggressive, you're talking 2974, I believe, 2974, 2973. Or conservative, you're talking 2874. This is invalidated basically upon a close below the first profit target level right here, which is resistance. Got a little bit of a breakthrough. You're looking for an SR flip right here. That level is 2590. 2590. So that would be the way that you would play that cup and handle. For me, Well, let's just be realistic here. So you had a nice bullish trend, all right? You have a nice bullish trend. You had consolidation. You have an upthrust. So this, another way to look at this would be this, though, man. Another way to look at this would be a classic SFP, a classic swing failure pattern, as I was talking about earlier, where you have a high, you have your swing bottom, you make a lower high, and then your level of failure would be right here. Now, that's not going to help a lot of short-term traders out. Why? Because, well, I mean, what we're talking about, 25% below us, and you can't short Engine Coin. So, just something to keep in mind, guys. Unable to make higher highs yet on the lower time frames. If we go to the daily, let's take a look here. Yeah, this doesn't look fantastic. It's getting sold into pretty decently. But overall, a Darth Maul candle is an indecision candle. Now, 60% of the time, it works every time. You are right. Somebody made that comment about Darth Maul candles. Typically, they do portend a reversal to the downside. Doesn't always happen. You can see continuation off a Darth Maul candle. But we also do see a lot of volume divergence here, even on the daily, right? So this upthrust was pretty weak. Time transformation is going absolutely insane. See, we had regular bearish divergence here. And we also have regular bearish divergence here as well. That regular bearish divergence didn't play out. There was just too much gas in the tank. So we just have to be logically consistent with what's going on here, guys. I think in the short term, if we violate 2590, we're probably going to see a more extensive correction. If 2590 holds as support, I think we could potentially see these upward profit targets that I have laid out for us. Let's see here. And I really like how TradingView is scaling my stuff here on the side, as you guys can see. Really, really like that, man. Very professional work. Very professional work there, TradingView. You're just really, really, really fantastic. I really like the adjustments that you've made to your scaling on your price scales. I mean, it just makes everything so fantastic, man. How to explain? Oh, Sam Samavelu asks, how do I explain to a wife who doesn't know about without getting a whack? I don't know. Tell her. I don't know. I don't want to be like stereotypical or anything like that. But just tell her that tell her that she married you for a reason. You know what you're talking about, and this is a good investment for your future. And then don't buy that much. Can one use time transformation on the Heikin-Ashi? One should use time transformation on the Heikin-Ashi. BTC Trade X. Geez, man, just calm down, bro. Will Bitcoin come on $3,400? I don't know, man. I don't know. The market's pretty indecisive right now. I'm a trader. So if it goes up, it's going to continue to go up. If it goes down, it's going to continue to go down. Is very simplistic. And I know that probably sounds like BS, but hopefully some of you guys who have been watching the show for a while and understand where I'm coming from with my analysis, like understand what I'm talking about. Like I just talked about Bitcoin for literally like an hour. Well, a half hour really, just focusing on Bitcoin. But we've got key resistance over us. We've got key support below us, man. If one of those levels break, we're probably going to continue on in that direction. At what exchange can you short Litecoin? BitMEX, Bitfinex. I think that's it. Kraken. Do I use Fibonacci EMAs? Yes, I do. Wouldn't holding my funds in a stable coin during a downtrend against a coin buying the bottom and then selling the top the equivalent to shorting the dollar versus the crypto? Wouldn't holding my funds in a stable coin during versus buying a coin at the bottom and then selling at the top. Hold on a second. I'm just having issues with the way you worded that. I mean, the issue there is like buying the bottom and selling the top. That's the dream. Many try, few succeed. Would holding... I'm having trouble understanding that, man. I'm unclear on the way that you worded it. So holding your money in a stable coin when crypto is in a downtrend versus what exactly? Can you just clarify that a little bit more, man? I just told my wife that I can blow 2K if I want to, since she just did the same 2 days earlier. Hell yeah, man. Can you hear me knocking? I think that cup and handle is getting quickly invalidated. It's just a shakeout, man. They just want to get your engine coin cheap, dude. Engine coin's up 200%, and they just want to get yours cheap. Anyways, could be. So you had a little bit of an SR flip here. Overall in this large period of consolidation. So let's look at VPVR. And we'll even look at Ichimoku on some higher time frames. Okay, yeah, so you have your consolidation area right here. You are outside of the value area. You did see a hunt for liquidity right here, right where you would expect to see outside of the value area on the 60-minute chart. You got a current level of support coming in right here, just as you can see right here, the top level of the value area, just as I talked about, 25.90. I think if 25.90 breaks, then you're most likely going to head down here to test support at 22.19, which was resistance. This should now be support. And if we break down from that, it's not going to look good. I don't see any strong indications to buy, man. I don't see any indications of a strong trend continuance at this point in time. That kind of cup and handle was kind of your last hurrah. But just classically, man, like if you break resistance here, then you go long. Let's look at the 3-hour chart and look at time transformation and see if we get any indications to continue the trend. All right, so the 3-hour chart could potentially give us a continuation trade right here. What we need to see for a continuation trade is, I'm going to have to adjust all this stuff because I changed the background to be more easily viewable. So here's the 0 line right here. Should the Fisher bottom above the 0 line, so if we get a nice bullish crossover here on the 3-hour chart, that'll be a nice continuation trade. But all the higher time frames, man, are starting to go whack-a-noodle. You've got your 8-hour getting pretty close to your overbought level, so it does say that you got maybe a little bit more gas in the tank. I don't really like what's going on here. I don't really like the lower high. I don't really like the Wick City going on here. And I don't really like the volume divergence, not indications of a strong uptrend. Let's look at 8-hour Ichimoku and get rid of VPVR. 8-hour Ichimoku would tell you to most likely be out of the trade aggressively if we go down below 2360. On the 8-hour, on the 3-hour, it's telling you to be out of the trade much lower than I would actually have us out of the trade. So I'd be out of the trade here around 25.90 if we get a 3-hour close below 25.90, maybe even a 1-hour close below 25.90. But if you've been holding on to Engine Coin for a while, then you're not listening to anything I just said. And what you're doing is looking at the 8-hour chart, in my personal humble opinion, and you're waiting for a close below the Kijun-san. Or if you want to be more aggressive, you're looking at CC-EMA. And, oh, geez, why do I always have to adjust this, man? It's not, I don't even have the newest version on. By the way, if you guys want to use this is my Fibonacci EMA exponential moving averages strategy. If you guys want to use this, it is available on TradingView. Just search for CC-EMA. It'll come right up. So looking at this, you're not out of the trade until you get a close below 22.19. Right here at this baby. That's congruent with your 21 exponential moving average and previous support. So if you close a 3-hour candle below this, you are out of your trade. But if you haven't taken 50% of your profit off the table on your engine trade, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're definitely at a level where you need to be taking profit. If you entered anywhere around here, could we go on a massive continuation bull run? Could, yeah, maybe. Could. Here. He says, I'm sorry, I mean, just isn't it like shorting the stable coin against the other crypto, say POA? Take it easy, Christian. So if you're holding your money in a stable coin, it is more like shorting the crypto against the US dollar, to be quite honest, because you believe that the US dollar, the fiat will hold more value than the cryptocurrency. And you want to preserve your fiat value. If POA is dropping in price action and I have my fund in a stablecoin at $1, isn't my value of POA rising as the price drops? Right, yeah. We did not look at BNB yet. So yeah, man. If you're in an Engine Coin trade, I'd have 50% of my profit off the table, and I would have my stop loss somewhere in this vicinity. And then we can wait for some confirmation. If you just want to play it conservatively and trend trade it, then you're just in your trade. You've already taken 50% of profit off the table, and you're waiting for an 8-hour or a 3-hour candle opening and closing below, let's say 2200 to be conservative, just to have a nice round number. If price runs for a liquidity grab below 1942 and basically puts in an SFP, which really wouldn't be an SFP, but whatever. And then we start going up and we break resistance right here at 2200 because that's what it will turn into. Should we move on the way down? We have demand. It's going to be support. Break through. It's going to be resistance. Should we break above that? Then we can talk about these upside price targets if the volume's there. But we do see volume divergence. Jonathan Kraus, man, thank you so much for the $9.99, my good friend, and congratulations to you, man, for winning the X40, for being one of the 5 winners for the X42 Masternode giveaway, man. Congratulations, my good dude. And thank you, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. Highly appreciate it, guys. I mean, never feel like you have to donate or anything. But again, we appreciate the support, and it will go toward improving the stream. Thank you, man. Stuart H, glad you're up and streaming. Glad you're here and watching, man. Glad you're up and watching. Let's go to, all right, so we talked about Engine Coin. Power to the people, man. Engine Coin, let's look at Litecoin. Hey, you're welcome, man. You're welcome, John. All right, let's go to Litecoin. All right, so I looked at Litecoin earlier for one of the members. I don't really like the 8-hour hanging man that's forming in right here at the top of the uptrend, man. Now, currently we are, I talked about this yesterday, from the break of resistance right here, right? From the break of resistance, which is now support. We did have upward price targets, right? Of 0.014 and currently 0.0148. We don't have long-term resistance until 0.01548, right? So again, very similar to what we're talking about, guys. If you're conservatively trend trading this, then you have your 8-period exponential moving average on your 8-hour chart. That seems kind of the best area for me. If you entered anywhere, if you would have entered anywhere in this ascending uptrend, you most likely want to be out of the trade there or below your 21 exponential moving average. And then you're waiting to re-enter to see how price reacts to 0.0125. You have weak support right there, but it is your first SR flip. You have stronger support down at 0.011. We'll see how price reacts to there. I wouldn't be surprised to see price come down here, consolidate, go a little bit lower, and then back up if that is going to happen. Looking at the 8-hour time transformation, we're not quite overbought yet. Not quite overbought yet. I don't really like the candlestick formation. Not necessarily very bullish. Generally, when you see a hanging man candle at the top of an uptrend, it is a reversal signal. But we put in a Darth Maul candle here, and we've got 4 hours and 16 minutes for the 8-hour candle to close. If we switch over to the daily, the daily is actually pretty darn bullish, though. Let's see if this level holds for me. If the level of 1400 holds, I think that's going to be some good psychological support right there. If that number holds, we could see a push higher. But again, it's just going to be like Bitcoin, man. It's just going to be like Bitcoin. Litecoin saw a nice pump yesterday, better than Bitcoin's price movement, and actually Litecoin sustaining it a little bit. So kind of all eyes on Litecoin. A lot of volume on this movement, man, and not a blow off top. So The volume looks good. The daily candlestick formation looks good. The 8-hour doesn't look fantastic, but we'll see if we just get some consolidation here at a higher level and then continuation. So don't have a strong indication to buy. Don't have a strong indication to be out of the trade either if you would have bought Litecoin at any other position in time. Let's go look at the 3-hour. Look for some shorter term indications. Holding all your exponential moving averages pretty well, man. So if you want to be aggressive, then you could look to potentially enter here, and you've got about a 4% target to the upside, 0.01481, and your stop loss is going to be below your 8-period exponential moving average right here. Support at 1400. So I think that's pretty good R to R. You're risking 2 to make 4. Not too bad. Jay Constant says, I will never win any giveaway. Of course you could, dude. SS Swartz 88, man. Thank you so much, dude. Okay. So Litecoin and then LTCH19. Getting late in the stream. We gotta hurry up. LTCH19 kind of putting in the same indecision. You did get the 3-hour buy signal right here, and you're about to go beneath the overbought level on the Fisher transform, which is very similar to the stochastic or the RSI, just the Fisher is much better, is generally your indication to sell because you've gone overbought and now you're crossing below back into the neutral zone. So you would get secondary confirmation if we go down below the 3 exponential moving average, but let's just get that off the table and let's look at something like VPVR, which is I think going to be a little bit more conclusive for what we're looking for. Let's look at from recent market bottom to local top. All right. Recent market bottom to local top. You are overextended. Again, you are overbought on the 3-hour time frame. You do have some support coming in right around here, but I don't think it's very significant, but it's just the top of the value area coming in around 0.0138 on the MEX. The more significant SR flip, I think, would be the retest of support down here at 0.01364, and then you could potentially see a liquidity grab for buyers at 0.0135, but that could extend 2% lower, man. Let's look at the higher time frames, looking at the 8-hour. Putting in a spinning top doji at the top of an uptrend, not the best 8-hour candle. Very similar. The daily looks pretty bullish, man. Decent volume follow through. Yeah, if you're in a Litecoin trade, you don't have a strong indication to be out, and I don't have a strong indication to short this at this moment in time. Kind of the market is pretty indecisive, man. Litecoin could continue to rally up, but there's some risky business. So it's difficult to set some upward targets for LTC BTC. We do have the same thing, so we can extrapolate by measuring the percentage differences. Again, I think if 14 holds on spot price, then I think we could see 0.0148, potentially even a test a little bit lower than 0.0154, maybe targeting 0.0143. Going to the weekly time frame of Litecoin. That is your most significant level of resistance. Getting above that is pretty goddamn bullish. So again, you don't want to be out of a trade too quick, man. Again, you see a bullish movement, consolidation, a bullish movement. So just give the baby the benefit of the doubt, man. I don't see any strong indications to enter in now. I don't like entering into a trade on high volatility. I like entering into a trade on low volatility. A little bit of volume divergence here, which isn't unnatural to see. Again, remember, without a significant change in volume or trend, or excuse me, without a significant change in volume or sentiment, you're unlikely to see a change in trend. So I don't think we've seen a blow off top. So potentially Litecoin's not done yet, baby. Because we saw a blow off top and then continuation. This is not an SFP in no way, shape, or form. This was an SFP to try to trick you. Did go slightly above the swing high. Didn't quite go as low as it needed to, and then you did break that resistance. So you had your, I mean, it's pretty simple, man. You buy on confirmed breakouts of resistance, and you short on confirmed breakouts of support. But Litecoin coming up to a critical area, man. Coming up to that resistance of 0.01548. So you could make the argument that longing at this point in time is risky, especially when you only have. Well, when you look at, I guess when you look at the spot price, you do potentially have about 8% to the upside above you. But getting back above that critical level of resistance, this is like Bitcoin's $6,000 level. And I mean, the sky's kind of the limit once we get up here. You're looking at taking profits above previous swing highs. So here you're talking about, 20%, 35%. So I think as we get closer and closer and closer to resistance, I think you do want to be a little cautious, man, and just wait, because getting above this level I mean, that's the most critical level of weekly resistance right there. So getting back above that level portends a huge, huge deal for Litecoin. So it's okay to be patient, man. Again, don't worry about the little baby bitch percent trade, 8% trade to the upside. Be more concerned with the risk to the downside, because if you enter into a long here, where are you going to set your stop loss? Down here? You're going to take a 20% stop loss for potential 8% gain? Doesn't make sense to me. Wait until you convincingly close above and reclaim this level of 0.01548, and then you look to go long until that baby gives you a trend reversal. Do I use a scanner? No. To find coins to chart as they're all moving at different breakout points? No, I don't. No. I mostly trade the big coins, man. I don't trade altcoins a lot. I have alerts set with my strategies for market conditions that would initiate a long or a short trade for me on altcoins. Well, on Binance, for example, like BTC and USDT pairings, I just have alerts set, and when conditions are met, I go take a look at the chart. If the volume looks right, if the indicators look right, if the price action looks right, I'll go long, or I'll buy, or I'll look for a position to buy. Mostly I stick to the large cap players, man, because they're easier to chart. There's more liquidity. Things make more sense. Moving right along, TRX, BTC. Long it. Let's see here. So, all right, so let's look at the weekly time frame for TRX. All right, so what is TRX doing right now, man? All right, well, we had two levels of support, blasted through one, currently resting on support right now. That support coming in around 566. We bottomed off of that at 607. What's the weekly Fisher doing now? The weekly Fisher is giving us a trending sell to the downside, but there's no volume to take the trending trade. Again, let's look at, and again, I think this is not the oscillator that I use, but this is a good start for you until you guys can find something better. Volume oscillator, when you're looking to take a trending trade. Does this tell you that there's volume to take the trending trade? Absolutely not. So you are not taking that trade. Now, conversely, let's look at a weekly indicator where we would have taken a trending trade. So looking at time transformation, we close above the zero line on the Fisher right here on this candle. Whoa, don't want that. Whoa, baby. Right here on this candle. And looking at the volume oscillator, said, nope, no go on that one. So, okay, we don't take that trade. And then we wait until this candle. And now volume oscillator says, yep, go ahead. Now you can take the trade. So we would have been long on this candle right there, and we would have been tucked in nice for a nice 50-60% trade, even if we would have gotten out at the close of this candle on the weekly Fisher, which the daily or the 3-day would have gotten us out sooner. I don't think you should be using your exit strategy on the weekly. But anyways, would have had a nice little 40% trade on that baby right there. If you were trading raw time transformation, the weekly told you to buy right here, taking that risky reversal. You would have had maybe 20% drawdown, to be quite honest, but you would have potentially gotten over 100%. So difference in trading the weekly and the daily. And this is crypto. So don't look at percentages so much for your stop loss. Look at your position size for your stop loss. It's fine to have a 10-15% stop loss in cryptocurrency as long as your position size is congruent to that level of a stop loss. Okay. So, this doesn't look too bad. Weekly candles putting in somewhat of a hammer right now. We do have what should have been support, which is now resistance, actually. So let's change this. So we're going to have weak resistance, and we're going to have strong resistance right here. Ideally, I'd like to see the daily get back above 641, and I'll be looking for a continuation trade back up to like 857. Again, we did put in some nice resistance right here at this previous liquidity zone. Let's go down to the 3-day. And see what's going on. All right, so 3-day, actually, that doesn't look too bad. I don't see the oversold volume that I really want to see. I don't see the oversold volume that I want to see. And if we look closely at the 3-day, we can actually see that level is holding as support, man. That weak level of support is holding, and that level's coming in at, thank you so much, TradingView, for making me have to do this crap, man. 605. Jesus, dude. I've emailed like TradingView support like 9 times, and they're just like, no, we don't know what to tell you, man. We like it. No, it's garbage, dude. The thing that you did to your price resolution scale. Never had these issues before. Woosah, baby. Woosah. Take a drink of water. All right. Looking at Tron on the 3-day, man. Yeah, it's holding support nicely, but I don't really like to see consolidation at support. I like to see nice V bottoms up. Could be accumulation, could be just potential of a breakdown. Again, when you approach support on low volatility, typically not a good sign of a reversal. So we've got resistance overhead at 641. That's about 5% above us. I think I'm going to wait for us to take a break of resistance. I don't really see a strong indication. We don't have a buy signal on the 3-day time frame. Let's go to the 24-hour time frame. So from the buy right here, looking at trending, because the Fisher is above zero, we have taking profit here, here, and here. Would have set you in for some decent short trades anyways. About 20% on that one, about 10%. If you stuck around, 30% on that one. This one was probably a loser. If you're using the Fisher to just trade reversals. Dollar cost averaged in here and here, so we'll see if that does work out. On the daily, we do see some bullish divergence, regular divergence on this candle right here from this zone right here. Actually, right here. So, yep. So, not big margins that we're playing with here, but not too bad, especially if we zoom up. So we have a bottom here, we have a lower low, we have a higher low on the oscillator, and the daily is about to close back above the zero line, potentially. So, I don't know. This could be good. Tron could be getting ready for a reversal, man, but it also could just be getting ready to... I mean, everything, you know, to be quite honest, man, everything does kind of say that this thing's just going to continue to just shit slide all the way down. But we'll see if some volume comes in, man, because the volume's definitely not there right now. I want to see a nice volume spike. I want to see a nice V bottom out of this and a nice daily close or a 3-day close above 641. Then I'll be an interested buyer, man. I'll be an interested buyer. Let's go to the 8-hour to actually start picking out some price targets. So let's pick out some price targets. And let's look at VPVR. No. Thank you so much. All right, so let's target LVNs and front run swing highs. I don't like that. Oh, that's like smack dab in the middle of an HVM. That seems like taking profit far too early. So let's make this worth our while, gentlemen, if we're going to take a trade on TRX. We do have resistance right here, but if we break that, I feel like we'll blast through that. So let's just look right here. Let's just look to take profit here. Before an HVN, we're going to front run an HVN. And I think that this resistance is pretty weak, especially if we make it over the 8-hour point of control right here. And that resistance level coming in at 641. So that seems worth it from a risk to reward perspective. That's about 11% to the upside. I think we can delete this level now. I'd want to be out of the trade before we enter this breakdown zone, this consolidation zone right here. And then probably look to re-enter the trade should we break above this level right here. Yeah, initiation zone. So I have a 10% trade on the table, and then I'll look to take this trade. If we can break above this resistance, I'll look to take this trade up to resistance, which is another 10% trade. So we'll see here, man. Putting a pretty strong 8-hour candle here not too long ago, about a day and a half ago. Not a lot of follow through on it yet. Now, if we form a higher low here and then have some continuation, wouldn't be too bad. But again, just be logically consistent. Not going long on TRX until we're above 641. Vitam Impendero Vero, man, thank you so much for the $50, my good dude. Man, that is, man, thank you so much, man. Highly appreciated, dude. He says, second week here, you do good work. Thank you so much, man. Well, I am very, very pleased to have you here, man. Thank you so much. I hope that the content is beneficial to you, and I hope that you enjoy what I do, man. Thank you so much. You are, as always, one of the good ones, man. Thank you. And I really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, guys. That's very humbling, man. Thank you. I'm bad at receiving tips. I don't know what to say. No, thank you, man. Thank you. Okay, guys, let me finish up with what's going on here, man. All right, so let's talk about Ichimoku briefly. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to ZERP, to be quite honest with you, man. So I just want to go over Ichimoku and give you guys a brief overview of Ichimoku. And maybe this is best saved for tomorrow, but I'll go into it briefly today, and then we'll talk about Ichimoku tomorrow. So let's get rid of this stuff here real quick, and we're just going to talk about Ichimoku. Now, there we go. Now, the settings that I have for Ichimoku are 2061, 2030, okay? And those are going to be your conservative settings, all right? Now, when we're talking about Ichimoku, Ichimoku is composed of 5 things, right? It's composed of the baseline, or the Kijun San, the conversion line, or the Tenkan San, the Chukun span, which is the lagging span, and then you got your Senku span A and B, which form the boundaries of your cloud, okay? Ichimoku can be used to trade reversals. It can be used to trade trending. It's generally a trending indicator, and it's a chart indicator, meaning it goes on your chart, as opposed to something like the MACD, which we talked about earlier, or as opposed to something like the stochastic, which is garbage. So the most classic way to trade, oh, come on, dude. I don't know what's, oh my God, Ichimoku, or I'm going to kill you, TradingView. The classic way to trade Ichimoku is, I think you just hit that super chat button. Benchevik, there's a $sign down at the bottom of the chat. I think the classic way, I don't think, but sorry. The classic way to trade Ichimoku is to trade cloud breaks. So Fibonacci, one of our analysts, this is how he trades. He specifically trades pretty much just using Ichimoku and average true range to manage risk. He's a fantastic trader as well. If you guys want to follow along with his trades, if you join our Discord, there is a channel where you can view just his trades. It's called Fibonacci Trades. But when you close, and this is generally a good strategy on any time frame, but when you close a candle above the cloud, you're looking to go long, and typically you're not going to be out of your trade until you close below the Kijun San. So if we look at TRX here, for example, looking at the Ichimoku cloud, you close above the Kumo cloud right here, around 356 satoshis, and then you can see here that price does not close below the Kijun, which is the red line, until right here. So you would have gotten out at that with 82.82%. Now you can use a different exit indicator. I think that this works really well as an entry indicator. This is one of the best indicators that is available, especially in cryptocurrency. Ichimoku is very, very effective. Other ways that you can look to trade trending is you can aggressively look to trade when the Tenkan San crosses above the Kijun. So when your conversion line crosses above your baseline, that is a long signal. So you actually see that would have gotten you in slightly earlier than the Kumo breakout. The Kumo breakout is the better way. You can day trade this strategy on the 15-minute chart. The way that would work is, so 15-minute time frame, when price breaks above the cloud, you're entering into a position, and you're going to have a different exit indicator, whether you're using a static take profit level. So if you're on the 15-minute chart, say you're saying, okay, I want 1% or 2% profit. So when you hit your profit, you take your profit, and anytime price pulls back to your Tenkan San or your conversion line, you're buying again. This is called aggressive pullback strategy. So you're buying on all pullbacks to your Tenkan San, and you're looking to take that same 2% profit. So as you can see right here, you would have bought on the break above the Kumo cloud, and you would have, let's see, did you hit your 2% profit? Hold on, I got to turn off magnet mode. Did you hit your 2% profit? Yes, you did. You would have hit your 2% profit. You're out of the trade. Price pulls back to the Tenkan San. You buy. You would have hit your 2% profit. And again, I'm just throwing ballpark numbers out there. Price pulls back to the Tenkan San right here. And do you get your 2% profit? No, you barely miss it. And then price closes below. Okay, so and then your stop loss is price closing below the Kijun. So on this buy right here, you would have still been in the trade. You're down about 2%, but you're holding on. Price comes back down to your entry, pulls back down a little bit, doesn't close below the Kijun, except for right here. So you're potentially out of the trade. Price goes back above the Kumo cloud right here. So you're back in, you get your 2% profit. Price pulls back to the Kijun. From here, do you get your 2% profit? No. Price closes below the Kijun, you're out of the trade. So anyways, so you would have had about 3 winners and maybe 2 or 3 losers. So depending on how you guys can adjust this, you can adjust this strategy, but that's the aggressive pullback strategy. Conservative pullback strategy is once you break above the Kumo cloud, you're looking to buy all pullbacks to the Kijun San. Your stop loss goes below the cloud or inside the inside barrier of the cloud. Different ways to do it, and you're using that same static take profit target, or you're using some different, faster exit signal like stochastic, which is whatever, like MACD crossover, some other exit strategy. I think in general, when you're doing day trading static, using ATR to measure out what your take profit level should be. So just look at ATR. ATR we can see is 3 sats. So that's your average volatility of a 15-minute candle. So you're expecting that a day trade for a 15-minute candle is going to last, what, 3 or 4 candles? So let's say, what, 12 sats? 12 sats is about 2%. Seems about right to me. You can adjust that as seen fit. And again, then you can also do, depending on how complicated you want to get with this, you can just say, okay, well, if price goes up 3 sats, that's half a percentile. So depending on how, if you're, again, this is Binance, but if you're doing this on BitBEX, you can say, okay, at 1 ATR, I'm going to take profit off the table and adjust my stop to break even. We'd be happy to have you, man. Benjovic. Robert says, what Ichimoku on TradingView do you use? This is just the default Ichimoku, man. This is the default. I use the default with my own settings. 2061, 2030. That's conservative. If you want to be really aggressive, you can cut that in half, 10, 30, 60. But you keep the last number 30 for the displacement. You want the displacement to be 30. All right, that's about it, man. So Kumo breakouts trending, aggressive pullbacks. You know, you can do this on any time frame. And then you can use the lagging span. The lagging span is just price pushed back 30 days, whatever your displacement value is. So typically, if you're looking for confirmation to enter into your trade, if you get a bullish trade and the lagging span is above price, directly below it, then that's bullish. If the lagging span is inside of the cloud or inside price, you're ranging. And if the lagging span is below price, then you're bearish. So you can see right here, every time you look at the lagging span, which is the green line, it's below price to the upside. So you're in a bearish trend. And now you're looking at what's going on. Now the lagging span is inside price, so you're in consolidation or ranging, and you're waiting for the lagging span to get back above price, and you're bullish. But all that's going to do is confirm basically what's going on with Ichimoku for you. So Ichimoku strategy on the 8-hour, you're waiting for a close back above here, above 725. The future cloud is bearish, and continuing to get bearish. So just a good trend trading strategy. Probably one of the best, one of the best trend trading strategies that you guys could be looking for. So, all right, guys, that's about it. With that, I can go over Ichimoku a little bit more, but it's 2 o'clock, and so I've got to get out of here, guys. And I see that my stream is dying and killing off, so I've got to go make the perfunctory call to my ISP and do my little bit of complaining. So let's finish up as we normally do, guys. So make sure that you go over to crackingcryptocurrency.com, guys. Check out the new blogs that are posted to our website if you want to trade along with us and receive access to my indicators, to our signals and setups for all the analysts and traders at Kraken Cryptocurrency, to have access to our private community in the members lounge and the VIP day trading voice chat. You can check out the banner, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Be happy to have you guys in our group and community. You guys can also, if you guys want to support the show, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, give us a subscription, hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Come on over to twitch.tv/Kraken Crypto, give us a follow or a sub. We highly appreciate the support. Or you could pick up some lovely merch at the Kraken Cryptocurrency merch store, guys. We do get a small kickback from the sale of the merch, not a whole lot. It's mostly just to keep the community going, guys. But I have heard that if you drink your morning coffee out of a Kraken Cryptocurrency coffee mug, your trades will be 80% more successful, and you will be 90% more attractive in your general life affairs. So go check that out, guys, if you want to support the stream, if you guys want to support the show. If you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, sarcastic remarks, opinions, and or death threats, please leave them in the comments section down below. And most importantly, make sure you guys head on over to discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com and keep the conversation going, guys. We highly appreciate it's about the community, guys. It's about the community as much as about the show, guys. So I want to leave you guys with a question today. It's the same question that happened yesterday, but we did see some bullish continuation yesterday. Are we looking at a swing failure pattern? Are we on the way to the downside? Are we on the way to a continued bullish pump, guys? I would like to know your opinions and thoughts now that we've had another 24 hours of price appreciation and price evolution. So let's keep our eyes on the prize, guys. Talked about this earlier. Fairly uncertain about directly which way the market's going to go. I apologize, but I'm not a crystal. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm a reactionary trader, and I'll trade which way the market tells me to go, and I'll wait for confirmation, guys. So thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much to the generous donations today. Let me take a brief pause to give a shout out to our subscribers and donators. Heading on over to Twitch, man. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Boom Saxit, ITM389. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Going over to YouTube. For some reason, it's not concocting everything. For some reason, like YouTube is not picking up everything that I want it to. So all I see on here is Pablo. I see Wally donating the $9.99. I know we had a lot more. Vatan, thank you so much for the $50 tip, man. Highly appreciated. Jonathan Kraus for the $10. Thank you so much, bro. Let me scroll up here a little bit. Bruno Solier for the $5. Hopefully I answered your question. Yep, I went over Ichimoku, so thank you so much. Tune in tomorrow, and I will be happy to go over that a little bit more. And I think that's where my live chat stops. I can't scroll up any higher, man. So if I missed anybody, I'm very sorry for that, but again, thank you so much for all the subs. Thank you so much for all the generous donations. You guys are fantastic and awesome, guys. So I look forward to chatting with you guys later on today in the members lounge, or excuse me, in the Discord. And if you guys are interested in trading along with us, boom, right at the top of the screen, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com, guys. All right, so that's all for me today. And until tomorrow, as always, guys, make sure to trade safely, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.